Okay, now here's an opportunity to put on your law school thinking caps, because it looks very much like a law school hypothetical, and I suppose it is. This is a question regarding the Pennsylvania anti-marriage statute, regarding the prohibition of same-sex marriage in Pennsylvania. So, consider this scenario. A gay couple, residents of Allegheny County, are married in New York. After several years, they separate, and now one of the partners has met someone else and wants to remarry. As a resident of Pennsylvania, he or she can only file for a divorce in Pennsylvania. But since Pennsylvania law does not recognize his New York marriage or even his right to marry, New York will not allow him or her to get remarried because he or she is not divorced. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, he or she files a suit to obtain a divorce, claiming that the Pennsylvania law is unconstitutional. You are served with the complaint as the Attorney General. So the question is, how do you respond? What do you do?
Who invited the law school professor as the moderator? It's a great question, and it is a law school question. Two things. I disagree with you that I think it's a contractual law, number one. I disagree that you need to get the divorce in Pennsylvania. I think the contract was made in New York. Unfortunately, they have to go the 2 hours back to New York and get their divorce there. So that's my practical answer. The ideological answer to that is, well, I don't believe we'd get to it because they would have gotten their divorce in Pennsylvania. I believe in gay marriage. My cousin Joey is extremely close to me. I love him. My best friend is John Mackey, and quite frankly, I want them to be just as happy in marriage as I am. I think we all do. But it's a question that then says, you as Attorney General, what do you do? The Attorney General is there to protect the rights of the citizens first and foremost, whether that be civil rights issues or criminal issues, consumer protection issues. But the Attorney General also has to represent the Commonwealth, either in lawsuits against the Commonwealth or the Commonwealth agencies against someone else. So that puts you in a precarious position. So that's a great question. What do you do now? When I worked in Philadelphia, I worked for a big law firm, and we were defense of workmen's compensation acts. And there were some really good people who really, deserved their workers' compensation. It was my job to tell the insurance company or whomever we represented, whether it was the city of Philadelphia, that you're wrong and this person deserves their compensation. I'm an officer of the court. I was as a prosecutor, I am as a lawyer, and it's your duty to represent your client. And I believe that that's the best answer for the Attorney General. It's your duty to represent your client. If your client is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you need to stand up and say, Commonwealth, you're wrong. You need to change this. You need to work with the legislature. You need to work within the laws of Pennsylvania and make sure that a wrong is righted. Thanks.
And I agree that you have to go file back in New York, practically speaking, but it's a question really is, do you believe in equality or you don't? And our Constitution mandates that every citizen in our country believes in equality. We have the Equal Protection Clause. And you take an oath to support and defend the Constitution as an Army officer, as a U.S. Congressman, and as the Attorney General of Pennsylvania. That is the oath that you take. Now, you would make arguments as Attorney General to say DOMA would not apply. It's been ruled unconstitutional. The Department of Justice has said that it's unconstitutional. You could also argue the Full Faith and Credit Act of the U.S. Constitution, the clause. I don't want to bore you with the legal mumbo-jumbo, but I have a record of fighting for equality. And when I got to Congress, and one of the members of Congress left, I took up the mantle to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Now, a lot of folks told me it can't be done. Other folks said, don't do it. You won your race by 0.6%. This is a hot button issue. And I said, that's what's wrong with folks in Washington. They get down there and they forget what they fought for to get there. The people who are door knocking for them and phone banking and contributing things. Why you work so hard is to see the fruits of your labor and the values that you believe in. Why you work so hard. You know, Mike Doyle, who was Congressman Doyle was here, was with me on that. You know, a lot of folks said to me, well, why does, you know, this Irish Catholic combat veteran care so much about this? And I said, you know, and they used to joke, like, weren't you like the 1987 Altar Boy of the Year? I said, you know, yeah. But, you know, I joined the Army when I was 19. I left in 2004 off of active duty. I have seen thousands of American heroes who joined our military get thrown out just because they were gay, not for any type of misconduct, but because they were gay. And I was willing to do what was right to stand up and fight for them at all costs. When I was during the 2010 race with the death threats and everything else that was tough in a tough Republican area, you know, I remember being, you know, with my wife and saying, you know, this is tough, are you okay? Are we doing okay? And, you know, is this worth it? You know, and, you know, she said, do you think it's worth it? I said, babe, I think it absolutely is worth it. I said, I got an email the other day from a guy I've never met before. He's a company commander in Afghanistan. That means he leads 200 men and women. And he said, Patrick Murphy, I've never met you, and I got your email, and I want you to know that I read about you in the Stars and Stripes military newspaper. I'm on my 4th deployment. He said, I'm a company commander here. He said, I have, unfortunately, as you know, in these deployments, a lot of times the soldiers will get a Dear John or a Dear Jane letter in the mail. He said, and as you know, we counsel them, we bring them to this because the suicide rate is so high. We counsel them, we bring them with the chaplain. If it's a custody issue, we try to bring them home if they can go home. He said, but never in a million years, Patrick, did I think I would get one of those letters. But I did today. And it's breaking my heart. He said, the person that I love with all my life said he's not going to be there when I come home. And I can't go to the chaplain, and I can't walk into the commander's office. I can't even tell my buddy because I happen to be gay. And the only thing that's given me hope is this Iraq War veteran named Patrick Murphy from Pennsylvania, who I know is fighting for me. When push comes to shove, when you're getting attacked from the far right wing, which you will get attacked and I'll get attacked in this campaign, you got to go to the core of what you believe in and are willing to fight for every single day. And most importantly, motivate others and inspire them also to do the right thing. It's pretty simple. Either believe in equality or you don't. Either fight for it or you don't. You win or you don't. These issues are too important not to win. And that's why I would say that we all need to come together and do what's necessary to win this thing. Not just in the primary, but in the general.